wanna stay, wanna live my own life, wanna feel passion for something or someone that makes my world turn upside down. Wanna give it up for something or someone that's better than this. So don't be too offended, I have to leave. There's nothing in for me, no, I'm not fitting in. I've packed my things to go. Am I being naive? But it's my choice to make. It's my new rebellious way. Choice to make, it's my new rebellious way.
Hello, squaddies. Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day. How's everyone? Hello, Lane. Yes. Hi, everyone from the UK and all over. Cookies and cream. Oh my goodness. Cookies and cream. Please pray for Anna Espionza and her brother. He has been diagnosed with cancer. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for letting us know. Yes, please, everyone pray for Anna. Oh wow. We've had quite a few illnesses in the squad quite recently, especially our friends and family. Please do send your prayers to Anna, and thank you for letting us know, Cookies and Cream. Thank you so much. Hi Rochelle, how are you? Josephine. Hazel from Boston, hello. Hi Ursula Smith. Jen Commonwealther, hi. Let's see if I can spot any new names. Hazel Bryan, don't think I've seen you before. Jean Minifee, don't think I've seen you before. Angela Bowman. Miranda Rios. Hi Miss P Talks, hope you're doing well too. Hi Sistren. Hi Helena. Carter, Southern California. Hope it's, well, I'm pretty sure it's nice and sunny in Southern California. Alrighty, I wasn't on yesterday, and you know, I used to wonder Would I ever have enough material to do a royal podcast day in, day out? Like, surely there wouldn't be so much happening that that would be possible. And somehow, somehow, something either wonderful, so if it's coming from Harry and Meghan's side, comes out almost every other day, or something crazy comes out from this island. And so here we find ourselves almost every day with something to talk about, which is quite remarkable. Um, yes, Lorna Andrews, William looks like he's about to break. And his expression here actually looks the way his mum's expression did when she was really at her breaking point with Charles. This is pretty much that Diana's expression at some of those last engagements that we saw them with. Sorry, that we saw them together at. And you can just tell from the eyes that there is so much going through this man's head that he can't even fake it anymore for the cameras. The eyes really are the window to the soul. And a picture says 1,000 words. And look at the difference between a man who is trapped and a man who's free with his very cute girl dad t-shirt and Apple AirPods. I mean, it's sad. Yes, Margaret, he looks defeated. And I'm going to show the wider picture of this. So this is from parliamentary opening, by the way, for those of you who hasn't seen the pictures yet. So Charles and Camilla are also in this picture. So I'll show the wider picture in a sec if you haven't seen it. But you would think your dad is opening Parliament for the first time. You might be a little bit more cheery about it. But this is a man who I think thought that he would be sitting in Charles's seat, that he could overstep his father to that throne. And it hasn't worked. Lady, I was about to say that his expression is just like his mother's. Yeah. Yeah. Lorna, yes, I do think there's a little bit of a guilt in those eyes as well. But mostly just the eyes of a broken man who's just got a million thoughts going through his mind. Massima, what's always on to the devil? Pen Dizzy, I concur. He really does look like his troubled mother. Yeah. Yeah, Kim Hamilton it's just sad, but it's everything that you put out to other people, it just comes back to you, especially now. I am really a very spiritual person, and I really do believe in this age of Aquarius that we're going through. You really have to be careful what you throw out, because um it's just a cycle that we're going through. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again, just in case anyone from Kensington Palace is listening, or if anyone can get the message through to Wills and Kate. Confess your sins. Confess your sins. Confess everything. Tell the whole world what you did. Because I'll tell you something, sooner or later, it's going to come out. So it's better if it comes from your mouth. It's better it comes from your mouth than when the press are ready to eat you alive. Instead of sitting here like this, in complete misery, in a gilded cage, literally in a gilded cage. That entire room was made of gold. This is literally a gilded cage. Why put yourself through this? For what? For what? Ugh. I mean, I don't think they deserve the pity, but I've got to pity these people, to be honest, because what is this? A life of misery. Rubber, this is what you get when you betray your one and only brother to satisfy the firm and royal road to misery. Yeah. Complete misery. From Kim, Willie is realizing that pretty soon protocol will require him to bow to Charles's mistress. Are we still calling her that? She is technically the wife now. She upgraded from mistress. Um, yes, Emerald. William is saying, I don't want any part of this show, but I'm trapped. How do I get out? You get out by telling the truth. Tell everybody everything. And just end this entire farce immediately. William wanted to be stronger than Harry, so he hid his mental anguish and did not address his mental health issues. He's on the edge now. He's lost to that Harry. Yeah. Well, is he lost to that? I would say that I'd actually say that he's been lost for some time, even when Harry was there, because his entire identity and who he is has been molded by the firm. Harry actually had time to become his own man. So I think he's been lost even when Harry was there. I think now he's just he's trapped and he doesn't know what to do. Hi Sonia, very good, thank you. Thank you for asking. Thank you everyone for joining us. Verda, I know a lot of people don't like William for the things that he's done, but I think we all need to pray for him and pray for your enemies as well as your friends. In sweet Jesus' name, amen. Well, that's certainly I think the Christian view would say that. You know, I don't think that Harry wants anything bad to come to his family. I think that he just wants to be left alone with his family, but the jealousy of his brother won't allow Harry to have peace. And if I'm going to pray for anything, it's just that William finds the backbone to just tell the truth, tell the whole world that it was you that was mostly involved in the smear campaign against your brother's wife, and tell them why and what it is that you've been hiding. Teresa looks as if he's been harshly chastised. Apparently so. Kim Hamilton, yeah, it's karma. It is some chromatic magic that's going through the universe right now. Ooh. Okay, so yeah, as a lot of people pointed out and were shocked by it, well, I guess not so shocked by, but just um side-eyeing, was the fact that he had to walk with Rose's husband, Rose, his alleged special friend. But of course, this is David Rock Savage. He holds a title in the house. I forget the name, but he gets the honor of carrying the Queen's big hat with the stolen jewels. And he's actually been seen doing this before. So this is his official title. I believe that this role or this position gets rotated with every monarch. So I think by the time, if we ever reach William, it won't be him holding the crown, which would be kind of awkward because I think he'd actually have to crown William. Imagine that. So yeah, a lot of people were just like, wow, history repeating itself here, literally, because as a squaddy pointed out, I can find the slide. William has learnt from his father. Keep your special friends close and the husbands of your special friends even closer. So in the bottom corner there, you can see in 1981, that horse guard who's highlighted, that is Camilla's ex-husband. And then in the carriage, you have Diana and Charles. I tell you, these people, There is no way that they were anointed by God, because we've got alleged side chicks out here at memorials, the husbands of the alleged side chicks out here walking out with the men who were apparently spending time with the alleged side chick. I'm trying to use code word here so I don't get done by the censors. But I think you will know what I'm saying. It's just like wow. Wow, wow, and wow. Deb, the video of William and Harry with the rabbit circulating again. Who was wanted the rabbit when he saw Harry with it? Oh dear. Okay, I have to look for that. Is that when they were children? Okay. William's gonna get an ulcer. Tell the truth. Well, it won't be any worse than the cuts that he's getting from running through the rose bushes. Daniel, William was manipulated by his mother-in-law Carol and maybe his father as well. Perhaps, but okay, that could be true, but it doesn't explain why he chose to allegedly, for the lawyers listening, have a special friend on the side. Joan, he's not going to flap his stiff upper lip. Uh, well, he needs to start flapping before the British press do, because something's gonna make sure that that super injunction breaks. Josephine, seriously, I don't think the British royal family even know what they've done. Inbreeding is real, indeed. Lorna, he's probably very bitter with Charles, but caught up in the foolishness of the monarchy. Yeah, I mean, what a life to live. And all of this is happening on the backdrop of a living cost crisis. And this was the cover of The Sun. I hope I did you proud, mummy. And as James Felton quite rightly said, deeply normal front page about a 73-year-old man who managed to read out loud. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention, I'm not giving the full story here. So Charles opened Parliament because the Queen couldn't. She's having mobility issues at the moment. So that's why Charles was there instead of the Queen. Otherwise, it would have been the Queen sitting in Charles's place. And as Dr. Scholler said, farting would have exerted more effort. Prince Charles read a speech that wasn't his, written in words not his, made by somebody else, and told every step to take. This is what Mummy Queen is proud of, that he can dress up and read aloud at 73. The state of the state of this headline. Well, this is what Charles has been waiting for his entire life, to wear a nice costume and Mummy's big fluffy purple hat. This is what he's been waiting for. So this is an absolute dream for him. This is what the firm has trained him to be, a speech reader. Boy. And the commentary for this whole charade came in thick and fast. The crown itself was bought in its own car. And as someone pointed out on Twitter, Miss Laura here saying the UK can afford 3 limousines to drive a £3 million hat 3 miles so that an unelected man can tell us he won't be helping our hungry citizens during a cost of living crisis. And just to illustrate how bad this cost of living crisis has gotten, this tweet from Karen saying, I put £80 in my electric meter 6 days ago. I live in a 1-bed flat with 1 storage heater on. Because I've used my washer twice and plugged an oil radiator in this morning, my electric has just gone. Something has to give soon. Bloody hell. So this is what people are going through while we're putting hats in cars. And I think that, so there was the car in the middle that had the crown, and then there was one in front and one at the back. And by the way, this was all streamed on BBC News. because it's not like people have lives or they're not working overtime. We had to stream the whole damn thing. And sorry, let me just. Oh, was there something? Oh, Sonia, and that's a success. I lost my aunt Pinky in Bermuda on Saturday last. She was such a wonderful person. I'll be traveling in a few days to say my goodbyes. Remember me in your prayers. Oh, I'm so sorry, Sonia. Please, everybody, do pray for Anna and for Sonia. I'm so sorry for your loss, and I hope you a safe journey, Sonia. And please just take some time to rest. Everyone, we all need time to rest. Um, we are coming out of a very, very difficult 2 years. So even the smallest things I feel like can really set you off, let alone literally losing someone. So I wish you a safe journey, Sonia, and most certainly we'll keep you in our prayers. Um yeah, sorry, I paused for a second because I saw that message. Um yes, Wendy, like father, like son. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. It doesn't fall too far from the tree. Not at all. And yeah, the commentary was on fire. Pagan, who's always fun to follow on Twitter. If you're not following her, make sure you do. Um, she responded to someone saying Prince Charles must have fought in some horrific battle. Sorry, in some horrific wars to win all those medals. And as Pagan said, yes, he fought in the Battle of Camillus Tampon, the skirmish of the squeezed toothpaste, the siege of the golden toilet seat, Kanga's campaign, offensive of the missing oligarch money, Operation Outs the Darky daughter-in-law. Wow. Pagan. Wow. Operation Outs the Darky daughter-in-law. And Battle of the Pedo Bishop Bestie. Those are all of the battles that Charles fought in to be able to hold those medals. And did he not fight every single one of those battles very, very hard? Especially the Battle of Camillus Tampon. And somebody else pointed out, just as a comparison, Norway, the country which is at the top of the Human Development Index, as many Scandinavian countries are, has a king with a golden throne and a head of state. But quality of living in Norway is still a lot higher than in the United Kingdom. Same with Sweden, Australia, Netherlands, and Denmark. They all have a royal head of state too. So the monarchy can say over and over again in its press propaganda PR that they are trying to modernize themselves. Clearly, they're not. If you've got people going hungry while you have a crown traveling in a motorcade, clearly you are not modernizing. You're just doing PR. Daniel Anne had an affair with Camilla's ex-husband, so maybe history repeating itself. Indeed. And the fact that they're just being so brazen about it. I mean, you would think that maybe they would just give David Rock Savage's post, just give it to someone else. Instead of just flossing this very awkward love triangle. But what's new in the royal family? Especially if you're a Windsor. Is it a Windsor marriage and there's not 3 people in it? Oh, we love you too, Sonia. We love you too. We will keep you in our thoughts and prayers for sure. Thank you so much for coming, Wilson. Yes, H Night. Dr. Charlotte never disappoints. Does she? I would love to have her on this show. I send an email to her website and I haven't heard a response. So maybe if we all like at her on Twitter, like, can you please come on the Duchess of Success show? Get her on one day. Carolyn, yeah, he was sitting there looking at that crown thinking, how can I get rid of this old lady? I've had enough. And that's the really sad thing about this so-called family. You've literally got a bunch of people waiting for the other person to die. And what kind of family is that? This was the report. It was actually from the official royal communications that the Queen has been experiencing some mobility issues, and I just don't see this kind of gathering around Lizzie the way you would in a normal, loving family. It's like just business as usual because that's what this is. It's a business. It's not family, and I find it very unfortunate that they keep talking about this whole thing of the Queen being in a wheelchair like it's something to be ashamed of. Um, the Pope has been seen in a wheelchair, and I think it actually sends a very good message to elderly people, people with disabilities, and they are really missing a chance to speak to certain groups by continuing to make out like the Queen being in a wheelchair is something so terrible. She's elderly, for goodness sake. It's completely and utterly normal. And the way that they're talking about this is very, very ableist. Francelia, because Harry was the target of the royal rota in his youth, he was able to learn and grow into the man that he is today. Indeed. Whereas with William, they just covered for him. Andy, South Africa and India want their stolen jewels in the crown. Malta wants their shark tooth. George has it. Trench Town needs its billions, indeed. And the fact that all of that can be the case, and yet they're still flossing all of this. It's a very awkward position now for the royals because other countries are looking at this and going, "We want our stuff back. We want reparations." And the British public is also looking at this and saying, "We're starving. We can't afford gas prices." And you carry on with this huge charade. And it's a shame in a way because I don't necessarily believe that we should erase tradition, but that tradition and the people at the center of these traditions are now at odds with where we are as a country. So it's a very, very big tug of war. VCOB, I am not reading William's look at the opening of Parliament says, and that should be me reading the speech part. Stand down for me. Yeah, where are all the body language experts looking at these facial expressions right here? Where are the body language experts? Toned out Tory MP Lee Anderson said people need to learn how to cook and budget properly rather than use food banks. And those who knew how to cook and budget could make meals for 30p a day. Okay, first of all, excuse me, the assumption that people can't cook or budget properly. Because I'll tell you something, if you are living on the poverty line, no one knows how to budget better than you. And cooking meals for 30p a day. Are they cooking food made from air? Because what are you gonna cook for 30p a day? That food has to be made from air. You can't even buy. I'm trying to think what you can even buy with that. A lemon? Can you even buy a lemon for 30p? What can you buy for 30p? Can you even buy a banana for 30p? You want to feed a family of 4 on a chopped banana? These politicians, I tell you, they're laughing in our faces. And I used to tell my friends all the time, I'm not leaving the UK before the middle of the decade. I'm escaping. I literally would use the word escaping. And they would all side eye me like I was insane. But somehow I saw a lot of this mess coming. And I kind of hate myself because I still didn't take a lot of action. And even this year, my plans to leave have been sidetracked because there's a lot of other things that I need to do. So I'm probably not looking to leave until next year now. Um, but such is the state of the country that people are suffering. And those of you who have been listening to my podcast for a while, as far back as November, I said we could get to the Jubilee and end up not with celebrations, but with protests. And I still have that on my bingo card. Thank you, Lucy Wynn, for always reminding everyone, yes, please do thumbs up and subscribe. She'll consider that Harry just spent a week showing the world that you are strong as women. Exactly, exactly. So what is wrong with the Queen being in a wheelchair? Caroline, so what's the Queen going to do when she can't get around at all? Is she just going to stay at home in bed? Maybe that's what they'll make her do, which is quite sad. Because they seem to be absolutely hell bent on not having this woman be seen in a wheelchair, and I don't understand it. Kim Coates, what a missed opportunity it was that the Queen didn't go to the Invictus Games while sitting in her wheelchair. Supporting her and the athletes would have shown she has a soul. Yes, that would have been the slickest PR move ever. I mean, if they wanted to get people to forget about Andrew escorting her to Phillips Memorial, that would have been the thing to do. See, can you see how much more clever the squad is than the very people who work in the palace? They should just hire us, to be honest. Joseph, the rich royals, a never ending soap opera of betrayal, adultery, and debauchery. Yes. A never ending soap opera of losses. Just one loss after the other. We're losing count.
Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you.
Loss after loss after loss after loss. Yes, Kendall, the body language experts are for the Sussexes only, I guess. I mean, you don't need to be a body language expert to look at these pictures and know that it's going down. Emerald, 30p a day, you can't get fish and chips for that. Yeah, what can you get for 30p? Actually, I'll tell you what you can get. You can get 3 lollipops. So that's your glucose rationing for the day. Nothing else. Yes, Valerie, politicians are insensitive. They really don't care for the people, and the people don't have the backbone to push back. And those of us that have read our history books know that it's often when, or it's only when people lose everything is when they lose it. And that's when revolution happens. But it never really actually, I believe, ever has to get to that point if the people can realize that, the 99% are the majority. You've only got a very small group of people who are causing all of this. So when the people find their power again, then we won't be having conversations about 30p meals. Elect Lady, does for success. Our government here in the US is no better. Well, there just seems to be a global problem of government corruption and overreach at the moment. It's definitely not just the UK or the US. Is it true that there's a baby formula shortage in the US at the moment? I saw something about that. Robin, the wealthy always have the solution. The price of food has soared. A can of black beans was 99 cents 6 months ago, and now is 1.79. A family of 4 needs more than one can of beans. Yeah, this is exactly why I started prepping like last year, because, and I just felt it in my bones that something was coming. And so if anything, I just felt like, you know what, if I can um just have a little bit of extra food, just have one thing that I don't worry about. I think it has more to do with her mind than her mobility. Plus, I think she will be on the balcony, or sorry, I don't think she'll be on the balcony or the carriage ride. The Queen is losing her mind. She, well, actually, the last time I heard her speak, not too long ago, she still seemed very much in top form. She was answering, uh, engaging in conversation. So I don't actually think it's her mind at the moment. Anyway, um, I think it is just her mobility at the moment, from what I have seen. I have no reason to believe that she has any major cognitive issues at the moment. Margarita, some mothers are selling their breast milk. Wow, wow. Shill, the politics seem to be pushing people to making ketchup packet soup. Oh gosh. All right. Moving on from that. What are we going to move on to next? Oh yes. So this issue about Miss Catherine wearing earrings. So there is a company called Van Leles Diamonds, and they tweeted that they were very honored to have designed and created a special pair of earrings for the Duchess of Cambridge, featuring their iconic now loop earrings, honeycomb and bee, crafted in yellow gold diamonds, blue sapphire, and enamel veneer. And so this is a black-owned business, and for whatever reason, they were asked to remove the post due to protocol. Now, the owner of the brand answered to a commentator who said, "Really sad indeed, unless they don't want to be associated with black-owned brands." And then she responded to that person saying, "Please don't think it has anything to do with color or race. Protocols are protocols, and we must respect that." So I don't know what to make of all of this. I The thing is, I don't follow the whole thing with fashion brands and protocol that closely. But I do remember that there was a whole hoo-ha. Somebody can jog our memories in the comment section about Meghan and fashion brands and certain fashion brands tagging Meghan in the posts. And I never understood it, because to me, it's always seemed as though through the back door, i.e., affiliate links, and as HRH Tanya has said, more than likely, the Daily Fail will want traffic to go through them, so they can make a commission off the earrings should they become widely available. I've noticed a pattern with Kate; her clothing, etc., aren't recognized through designers, but rather the fail. And so that's what I think that the so-called protocol is really about. Is so that the rag mags can benefit more than anything, and that there is a relationship obviously between the palace and the rag mags where they get to benefit, and um she gets more press because obviously with Catherine it's really just the clothes that sell. There's nothing really else to sell her on. They always just talk about her clothes. And so the actual designers never really get to post about it on their pages. But there have been a few examples, as somebody put together, where they have been, and perhaps there are some other backdoor deals going on with designers. I mean, Kate does have her favorites, Jenny Peckham, of whom she is a friend with and she wears quite often. And I do remember that night at the James Bond premiere. There was a huge deal made about Jenny Peckham, and you had like whole articles just on that dress. So there's definitely something going on in the background, and I wonder if so-called protocol really just has to do with who benefits rather than um, any actual um, official protocol. Um, Clara, the carriage will be empty, too uncomfortable for Her Majesty to ride in. The seat is too hard. I have heard that. I have heard that about those carriages. I can imagine when they have refurbished them a little bit. I've never sat in one of those carriages, but I did go to a castle in when I was in where was I? Denmark, and I got to stand right next to. There's a place where you can go, one of the castles, and you can actually stand right next to a lot of the carriages, and the step where you put your foot to go in is so tiny. It's so to me it looks uncomfortable just to get into one of those things, let alone sit in one. Duchess of Success. I wonder why the Queen is having mobility issues now. She didn't have one before she got before in the pandemic. Well, um, Harry did say that he was very, very concerned. So obviously there's something that he was concerned about. And maybe that's what it is, Asha. Sharpie saw a pic today with William and Kate exiting a helicopter, and guess what papers are seen on the helicopter doors? Daily Mail and the Sun. Really? Okay, I did not see those pictures. I'll have to dig them up for tomorrow's podcast. Kim Coates, did these earrings sell out? Seems like Kate's copying Meghan again. I don't know. I haven't checked, but it's definitely an unusual brand for her to pick. I'll say that. A small business, business run by a person of color, and obviously we know that Meghan is one of those girls that sits on Etsy. She sits on Etsy.com and she looks for those cute little small businesses. I do that too. You can find some great finds on Etsy. Lily Bell, the royal family is the fifth richest monarchy in the world. They're worth 88 billion, but yet still taking money from the taxpayers. Why? That is a good question. You know what? I honestly wouldn't care so much about abolishing the monarchy if they would just take the royals off of the British taxpayers' purse. I'm happy to settle for that. And then the Commonwealth countries can decide, country by country, whether they want to remove the Queen as the head of state and come out of the Commonwealth. But as far as just the United Kingdom goes, I just want them to be removed from the British taxpayers' purse string. And I would happily settle for that if we're not going to go all the way and just remove the monarchy. SP talks, I guarantee you the Queen will not be on that balcony. Oh, that would be the most anticlimactic thing if she's not. We'll see. That way you've got it on your bingo card, Miss P talks. She won't be on the balcony. V Cobb, golden carriages. The Queen complained once that they were uncomfortable. I mean, do you know what? They are actually, they may be made of gold, but they are quite small. And they wear well, back in the day anyway, they had to wear all those grand dresses. So it's probably very hot and uncomfortable. Joyce, they can't impose protocol on people outside the royal family unless they agree up front. unless the company has told and agreed to this made-up protocol prior to sell. They are free to speak. Indeed. And I reckon that there are this is why I reckon that there are some deals that happened where the designer is promised sales and you have the Daily Fail with their affiliate links, but they just can't shout about it too much. So yes, there was that. And so the British tabloids, or the morning talk shows rather, continue to make fools of themselves. So there were two things that happened. First of all, Piss Moron, in a desperate attempt to try and get views for his failing shows, they bring on the Taliban spokesperson. How do you even book the Taliban spokesperson? But anyway, this is where we are now. This is the level of desperation that we are now. And James O'Malley very funnily tweeted, "Looking forward to hearing what the Taliban thinks about Meghan and Harry." I didn't watch the interview, so I don't know if he asked the Taliban what they thought about Meghan and Harry. But I would not be surprised if he had, just to get headlines. Because you know what? I reckon the Taliban probably watched that interview too. They watched the Oprah interview too. Didn't everyone? This is just the weirdest thing ever. And I don't know why you'd want to give such a person a platform. I read the other day that they are now issuing blanket rules that women in Afghanistan must be covered from head to toe. And it's not a choice. So yeah, that happened. And then on Good Morning Britain, somehow they managed to start off the conversation again about Meghan Meghan possibly running for president. It's like they just keep wanting to throw stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks. And so someone on the show said it's like a Netflix miniseries. They're really just not over the whole Netflix thing, are they? They still can't believe that it happened. Anyway, it's like a Netflix miniseries. The idea that President Meghan and the first man would return to Britain on this state visit in 15 years' time, to be received by King William and Queen Kate, would be fabulous. I mean, the fact that they would even bring this up, it just shows how utterly terrified they are, the idea that this could happen. And as some very funny Twitter commentators said, one person said, "This is such ridiculous chatter, though it sheds light on why she was so cruelly hounded in the UK. It certainly wasn't because she was unimpressive. White men sitting on a panel discussing their greatest fear." I mean, really, does it not just speak for the power of Meghan and just how amazing they know she is, even though they won't admit it? If they're talking about her being the president of the United States. And as someone else said, "What is wrong with the UK? Men sitting around discussing, not just Meghan. Can you discuss about how to feed children who are going hungry or take better care of seniors? Really, UK has some major issues that definitely need your attention." Indeed. They're not even talking about the Queen, whose Jubilee it is. They're not talking about the future king or the future. They have a queen, a future king, and a future, and a future. And they're not talking about them. They're talking about Meghan, who's on the other side of the Atlantic. And as the other commentator said, this is like Fox News constantly pondering if Michelle Obama will ever consider running for president, even though she has publicly said multiple times saying she has no desire to run for president. Why the hell is the UK press obsessed with forcing this narrative onto Meghan? Indeed. Meghan becoming president is not on my bingo card. Not that she couldn't do it, but I just think with two young kids, with an amazing foundation where she can make a lot of change, why would she put herself through that headache of becoming the president of the United States? Why? I just don't see it happening. And it's not because I don't think that she could do it or do a good job of it. Just why would you put yourself through that? But of course, they have to come with something. Joyce. Oh, okay. Sorry, I think I read that message. Miss P talks. I'm telling you, her mobility issues will be at play. It is very strategic. What do you mean in terms of her being on the balcony? Explain, please. Elect lady, I understand, and then again, I don't understand. Our tax dollars goes to our government, and they are all rich people. Well, the people who work for you in government are, well, they actually run the government, and they decide, you know, how things are run, services, laws that are passed. Um, and they don't ride around in in carriages and have butlers and dogs who eat off of silver plates. So they're actually paid to do a job. Now they don't necessarily always do a good job, but it's a job. Showing up to press calls, to pet goats, and running around in colonizer cosplay is not a job. And it does nothing for anyone. So, um, no, I don't feel that the British taxpayer needs to pay for the royals. Julia, I'd say that she will be there. Her final show with all the characters. Yeah, even if it means her being in a wheelchair, I think that she will be there. But Shirley, they are making such a big deal of the balcony. Will look like Falls of the Queen isn't there. And if Harry is not there either. Well, I think Harry and Meghan have already decided that they will not be on the balcony. And they tried to spin it into the Queen did not allow them to be on the balcony. Jill, is there a lift to get the Queen up to that second or third floor? That is a good question because I don't think Buckingham Palace is very mobility friendly. But they can easily put a makeshift lift in. Or you know those I don't know if you've ever seen them, but a lot of old people have them in their homes. Like they'll put like a chair lift and it will be fitted onto the stairs and it will take them up the stairs. So I'm sure they'll make some provisions if she needs to be in a wheelchair. Vinny, Britain has a chamber of government made up of only lords to institute laws to keep the masses down, and the people can do nothing about it because they're not elected. Well, they actually can do something about it. It just takes the majority to have to come together. And the problem now is that you just have so much um, social political conflicts that that's very difficult. It's very difficult for people to put um, minor issues aside and work together for the bigger picture. Wendy, why are the British working class taxpayers so complacent with the royal family indifference to their needs during the recession? Where are the protests in the streets? Do you know what we've had moments of austerity protests um in kind of more recent times. You go back a little further, like Thatcher era. Yeah, obviously there were protests back then. But even in more recent times, like we have had austerity protests. I don't know what it would take to trigger that again. I think it would have to get like really, really bad. But like I said, it's still on my bingo card because if there's any time for people to protest, wouldn't the best time be at the Jubilee? So I'm hoping that there are some organizers out there who decide, you know what, if we're going to do it, let's do it at the Jubilee, and they have the right to. You've got the right to protest. Yes, Dolores, who would want to be associated with the Taliban? That's crazy. Piers Morgan. That's who. Nobody other than Piers Morgan looking for clicks wants to be associated with the Taliban. Shirley, with the president thing, I think they're trying to emasculate Harry when it's clear that he is strong masculine type. Yeah, Harry is clearly a man who is very comfortable in his masculinity. Yeah, he doesn't mind that his wife is the such the shining star that she is. If anything, he is incredibly proud. He is her queen. And so yeah, I think for when you see the culture of chest pumping, small-minded men like Piss Moron who kind of run the British tabloids, yeah, you can see why they tried to paint a picture like that. And Miranda, the Queen received 3 million in COVID relief because her shops that she went out on high streets in London were sitting empty. Yes. And while that happened, hundreds of thousands of small businesses shut down. Okay, let's just move on to the next thing and try and finish up, and then I'll get to your comments. So there was an announcement in the New York Times that the Marshall Plan for Moms movement has announced a new business coalition that includes Patagonia and Archwell, Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan Foundation to join. Companies must offer staff a child care subsidy or benefit or intend to provide one. And we know that this is something that both Harry and Meghan have been very passionate about. Meghan wrote a letter. Oh, somebody remind me who it was that she wrote a letter to. It was something to do with like childcare. And was it like a million mums or something like that? That they were petitioning for childcare for all. And she said, as part of the statement, as it's been said many times, it takes a village to raise a child. Today, we're sending a message that childcare isn't just a community imperative, it's a business imperative. Families everywhere, and especially working mums, are asked to shoulder so much. This has only been heightened by the pandemic, which increased caregiving responsibilities, rising prices, and economic uncertainty. And it's been said many times. So yeah, that's like the whole statement. So I will put the link to the article in the community tab later if you want to go and read that. And it's just great to see Archwell moving forward and working with different organizations to do great things as usual. Andreen, Royal Rota knows they're just as outdated as the Royals. They love Meghan. She brings interest and communication, unlike a boring monarchy. Yes. And, it's interesting that what Meghan and Harry are doing with this Marshall Plan for Mums, this is all part of helping families. Certainly something that I think would help childhood development. Maybe Kate can take some notes. Mercedes, it's disturbing to me that British citizens are corresponding with the Taliban when we know that the Afghans have had a price on Harry's head for a long time. I don't know about that. I mean, I can imagine because he served in Afghanistan, perhaps. The Taliban might have a mark on him. And yeah, that does actually make that whole conversation with Piss Moron a little bit more disturbing. But let's face it, Piss Moron is desperate, and I mean, if you need the Taliban on to give you some views and some shock value and social media shares, then you really are desperate. But I really don't think that the shock value is working anymore because, to be honest, I only just happened to see this because I was looking through my feed for news for the podcast. This wasn't really like splashed everywhere. Like, it's not like everybody was talking about it. Maybe like a year or two, or when we came out the invasion. Sorry, when America pulled out, um, people would have been talking about it. But I really didn't hear anything about this. It's just when I was looking through my feed. So a very desperate move that just didn't work. Chris Beetle. Anybody heard from Chris Ship? No. Why? Is there anything we're looking for from Chris Ship? I tell you who I'm a little bit worried about. Camilla Tominey. I haven't heard from her in a while. I always get worried when our good old Camilla's a bit quiet. This just says Omid's Yahoo story let everyone know that it was Harry and Meghan's idea not to be on the balcony. Just got on you. Might have already talked about it. No, I actually didn't talk about the Yahoo story yet, but yes, Omid did write 2 great articles for Yahoo talking about this and talking about how the press have just turned the entire Jubilee into a circus. So I will link those both in the community tab also. And definitely follow Omid for his Yahoo articles. He's been doing a very good job of them so far. A lot better actually than the stuff that he's been writing for Harper's Bazaar, I think. Teresa, it was to do with paid family leave and it was sent to Nancy Pelosi. Yes. Thank you so much, Teresa, for jogging my memory. Yes, she was petitioning for paid leave. Thank you. Gosh, so much happens that it's so easy to just forget. The Sussexes are just on fire. V Cobb saw on Twitter Ricky Gervais saying he has lost all respect to Piss Moron with the tell and move for clicks. Well, did Ricky Gervais have respect for him before? But yeah, this is not a good move at all. I just don't understand it. I wonder is Piss Moron just in self-destruct mode? Because I'm still very aware of the fact that his core audience are very right wing. And does the right wing audience want to hear from the Taliban? I mean, does anybody want to hear from the Taliban? But especially them? I don't think they do. So when I look at it from a perspective of who he's actually trying to talk to and bring in, it doesn't make sense at all. So I think this is going to backfire in a major way. Okay. All right, just to wrap up, there are 2 other things that I wanted to mention. A memorial for those who were lost at the Ariana Grande concert Manchester bombings has now opened. It was actually opened by William and Kate. But it's great to see a memorial for them now open and somewhere where families and friends can go to grieve and people can go to remember. It was a very, very, very shocking day. I still remember it very clearly. You always remember where you were when things like this happen so clearly. Like, I can remember still very vividly, moment by moment, where I was when 9/11 happened. And when 7/7 happened, the London bombings on the Underground, and when these arena bombing, when this happened also. So it's great to see that there is just finally a place where people can go and pay their respects publicly, and it's actually very beautifully designed, round. I'm going to take a guess and say that those slabs represent each individual person, perhaps. It's usually the way these things are designed, very much with the event in mind, and kind of the roundness, I guess, would somewhat represent an arena. So it's great that they've finally created that space for them. And just to end on a happy story, because we need a little bit of happiness. Gabby Sidibe, someone who I've loved for a very long time. So she actually announced that she was engaged last year, and she's now on the cover of Bride magazine with her boo. He works in the music and tech industry, and recently got hired as head of partnership at No Cap Digital. So it's great to see Gabby happy, great to see her loved. Um, I think for so long she was just a butt of jokes, and just to see her here so happy with a man who loves cats. I'm telling you, men who love cats are just the best. And she's lost lots of weight and she looks happy and healthy. So congratulations to Gabby. And with that, we will call it a day. I will end with your comments, and thank you so much, everyone, for coming. Vinny, 2 days ago, Stumbles and Mumbles traveled to Edinburgh and Manchester by private jets. Why would they need to go by private jets? You can literally get a train. And yesterday, they were in Scotland in their private helicopter. And doing what, may I ask? Because I can guarantee you none of what they were doing was relevant or even important. Because I sure as hell didn't see what it is they went there to do. Shirley, I'm so worried about Harry and Meghan being harmed. The haters will never stop. I think it's time for filing a targeted lawsuit against the principals responsible. Well, I think we have to trust that Harry, Meghan, their lawyers, and their advisors know what they're doing. I think that they just want to get over this hump of the Jubilee. Because if they can do this, then this is one part of the narrative that the press cannot control anymore. This whole thing of them disrespecting the Queen and stressing the Queen, and the Queen is unhappy. If they are seen with the Queen, if those children are seen with the Queen, that just kills that false narrative. So let's just get over the hump of the Jubilee, and I'm sure Harry and Meghan will be fine. Yes, Marina, Piers has no regard for women either. He attacks women all the time. So really, I guess it was a match made in heaven with that interview. Yes, Robin, I agree. Let's not put fear into the universe. Pray for their safety. Marina, what happened to the House of Lords if the monarchy is abolished? That is a very good question, and something that I will research, because I actually don't know. I actually don't know. That's why, the whole thing about abolishing the monarchy is so much more actually than just the Windsor clan, because it stretches to our whole system, the House of Lords, the House of Parliament, the judiciary system, HM Revenue and Customs, Her Majesty's Revenue and Customs. So it's a lot more than just getting rid of the Windsor clan. Like, it's literally taking apart a lot of the systems that we have in the country. Not to mention all of those aristos and all those people that have OBEs, MBEs, G to Zs, A to Zs, all of those trinkets. For them, their proximity to the crown also matters. It gives them a sense of power and status. So all of these people who benefit from the crown still being there, if the people decide that we don't want this, they're not going to let it go without a fight. To abolish the monarchy is going to be a fight. That's why I think the whole nation has to be in a certain mindset in order to, if it's going to be done in a way that actually can be done without too much animosity, without it too much turning into a culture war ish show. it's gonna be a very difficult thing to do. So it has to be done carefully if it's ever gonna be done. Which is why I said before, at the very least, you know what? We should just take them off the taxpayers' purse string. I would be perfectly fine with just that. Teresa, I wouldn't be surprised if we don't find out Camilla, Tomini, and Chris Ship are in are in Montecito making a nuisance of themselves, accosting people in supermarket parking lots, asking about Harry and Meghan. Well, Camilla is obsessed with Meghan's lawn, so she probably went to the garden shop if she is there. Yes, Josephine. Dr. Shella says, PM, I'm not embarrassed. It's not embarrassing. Hi, my point of view. Yes, Jennifer. Meghan is fine where she is. Too much stress in politics. Too much stress in politics. Why do that to yourself? I mean, look at US presidents when they start the presidency and when they finish. Stressed, grey, wrinkled. It is not an easy job. How do you even sleep when you are the president of the United States? How? I mean, I feel like any other country is like you can get in a good couple of hours a day. But how do you sleep when you are the president of the United States? How? I don't think I could sleep. Patricia, don't forget Virginia Guthrie gets to speak after the Jubilee. Oh yes, I did forget that. Do you think she's gonna? Did she say that she was gonna write a book? A book, or might be like a. She might come out with some kind of article, like a feature in an online piece, and then follow it up with a book. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you so much, Jay Patterson. Jay Camp, I can't see the whole thing stopping after the Jubilee because they have now made the Duke and Duchess into their cash cow. So they'll always be coming up with something else to line their pockets. That is true. That is true. IDSW, the House of Lords will likely be treated as the case in the US with the US Senate, senators for England, Wales, Northern Ireland, Scotland, and other areas. Yes, maybe. I'll look into that because it's quite interesting. I'd actually like to know. Emerald, Meghan's moral compass will not allow her to be president. Yeah, I think so. I think so. There's just very tough decisions that you have to make um, when you are when you run a country, and no matter how nice you are, there are just certain things that are even out of your control, and um you have to do because you just have to do them for the country, and it's out of your control. Your advisors tell you this is for the good of the country, and you have to do it whether you want to do it or not. Andrew and Camilla Tominey has been she's been quiet ever since she threatened herself. Oh, was that thing with the she said that somebody had written something on her blog, and then people complained to Yahoo and they were like, "Oh, we can't find this email." Are you talking about that? Yeah, Marsha. Yeah, 45 isn't grey from the stress, it's just more orange. Yes, Pelena. Megan just came out of a bad relationship as a working royal. She can't get into politics. No, no, no. Her body, real men love cats. I'm telling you, there's something about men who love cats. They're always the good ones. Thank you so much for coming along, Kim. Okay. Who's going to get the last word of the day? Teresa, I'm going to give it to you. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful day. My last words, peace and hair grease. Amen. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.